Hi, my name is Ed Pyrus, and I'm a sales rep for Bike On, specializing in hand cycles and wheelchairs. It's very satisfying work for me. I've been retired for about 6 years before I came to work here, and I feel like I've kind of reignited my passion for working since I've been here. I really enjoy it, and so far we're doing pretty well. I think the customers are drawn to Maddiline because of the diversity of their product line. They have bikes which are strictly road bikes, which again are beautifully built and function very well. And then they have a full range of everything from light gravel to more something that can tackle more severe terrain. With Maddiline, what we do, the first thing I do is I speak to the customer about where you're going to be riding, what type of riding you're going to be doing, what is your level of fitness, what are your physical deficits, what is your injury level. There's a whole bunch of a series of questions that we go through to find out, to try to zero in on the proper bike for them. With Maddiline, we take a series of measurements, physical measurements, so the bike is fit specifically for the customer, which is different. It's much more detailed. It's different than other manufacturers. And then we basically go through the options and adaptive solutions for their particular needs. So when we take the measurements or ask the customer to get the measurements for a Maddiline, all of these are used to determine the size of the frame that Maddiline is going to start with, and also to do the micro adjustments to get the bike to fit specifically for that person. When we get the bike in here in Rhode Island, they do a quality check on the bike. We go through the order form to make sure that the bike has been properly constructed based upon the customer's order form. With Eaton, it was a bit different. So her physical deficits and the specific adaptive recommendations for the bike were very specific to her. The drivetrain, shifting the bike in a conventional manner. So the chin shifting allows her to pretty effortlessly change gears on the bike. We have a coaster brake where all it has to do is to rotate the cranks backwards and it activates a disc brake. So all of those things make it fairly seamless for her to ride this bike as if she did not have those physical deficits. Her bike is powered, so she's able to adjust the level of assist. She's got an electronic assist on her bike. She's able to adjust that to suit her needs. So the bike is really specifically made for her, and it allows her to ride the bike as a able-bodied person would be able to ride their bike. Basically, Kyle delivered the bike down there to her, and again, there wasn't much that had to be done to have it fit her exactly. The Maddiline did such a good job. And the other thing is just in general, the quality of the bikes is the best there is. Yeah, for me personally, I have multiple sclerosis, and I was only diagnosed when I was 50 years old. Prior to that, I was an athlete my whole life. I played basketball, I played football, I played baseball, I was a bike rider, I was a golfer. My multiple sclerosis is a progressive form of it, so my physical demise was rather rapid. And so I went from being extremely active and doing all sorts of sports to being unable to do anything. So it was devastating for me. Mentally, it was a very difficult thing to deal with. So basically I did a little research and read about hand cycling and said this might be something that I could do. This was after having MS for 3 years and essentially doing nothing. So I bought a bike. Turns out it was a pretty decent bike, and started riding. And within a couple of months, I was doing 50 to 80 miles a week and just felt like I was born again. I mean, it just mentally, physically, everything came back. So beneficial to my mental health, my physical health. I actually do a little bit of racing, do fairly well for a 65-year-old guy who's 200 pounds. And it's a real passion for me. And if I can, introduce other people to it, or elevate their experience within the sport, I get a big kick out of it, and it's one of the reasons why I like this job so much, because I do interact with people who are in similar situations where they suddenly can't do what they used to do, and hand cycling is definitely a fantastic alternative for people who are in a position like I am.